Hey, hey, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Writer's Block. Come on in the room. I pray everybody's having an amazing day. As you come in, say hello, send up a greeting. Let me know where you are watching from, where you're tuning in from. If you don't mind sharing quickly to your timeline. I don't intend to be on here very long. I'm in the middle of working on a manuscript. And of course, I've got so many people who have questions about writing. And I wanted to just come on very briefly to share with you some of the obstacles or three things that are keeping you from getting published. And just real quick, come in and tell me, even if you're in the stages of writing, what stage of writing you're in. But if you happen to be catching this on the replay, I hope you will share, I hope you will tag, and I hope you will comment in the chat. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the three things that are keeping you from getting published. The three things that are getting keeping you from getting published. Now listen, you you have an amazing story to tell. There are so many people who have great testimonies and great stories that they want to share, but they're too afraid to get started. And fear can be one of the number one factors that keeps you paralyzed. Fear of not knowing enough, fear of the market being oversaturated, right? There's so many different reasons people are not writing. And I've had so many people call me and tell me they just don't know where to get started. And that's okay too, because we're going to help you with that as well. So, three things that are keeping you from getting published. This is the first thing. And we're going to tell you how to fix it. So I want you to ask yourself, how long have you been saying, I'm going to finish my book, I'm going to get started, right? How long has it been? Has it been a few months? Has it been years? Has it been days? Has it been hours? Have you completed your manuscript and maybe you've sent it out and maybe you haven't heard anything back? Where are you in your writing stage? I want to know. Let me know. Or maybe you've not even got started. Maybe you just have an idea. Maybe you have a testimony to tell and you're just not even sure. That's perfectly fine. That's okay. We're here to help you with that today. So, I want you to know some of the biggest obstacles that you're going to face as a writer, but then I also want to help you know how you can move forward. Okay. Because we're all about moving forward. So, I actually started helping people edit and helping people get self-published in about, I think it was about 2015 when I wrote my first manuscript, wrote my first book. I was a part of a writing project with about 26 different authors. And it was a project that didn't go quite as I expected. A friend of mine put together this group of writers, but the finished product wasn't something that I was exactly proud of. I mean, everybody who was a contributing author had an amazing story to tell, but there were errors in the book. The cover didn't look quite as professional or mainstream. Um, and then there were just everybody, though they had amazing stories, did not write with the same caliber of writing. So I asked the person who had put it together if we could go back and if she would allow me to edit the material. I was an English major in college. I started out wanting to be an English professor. I didn't quite fulfill my degree in that area, but English was very strong. Very important to me, and writing was super important to me. And so I was able to go back through and clean up the manuscript, make it something that we could be proud of. And I've been doing it ever since. And so I've helped over 200 authors realize their dream of becoming published. And so I'm really excited to help you, right? So, um, my passion for helping writers really came out of that experience, in that I also found it to be very costly. And part of what I love to do is make information available and make services affordable. And so when you, in fact, tell me what kind of books you're writing in the comments. Are you contemplating writing a fiction? Are you contemplating writing nonfiction? Are you contemplating writing a memoir, your personal story, your personal testimony of encouragement? We've even helped people with ghostwriting. Maybe you know for sure writing is not my strong suit. I need someone to write this project for me. We've got you covered. Um, but the first thing I want to emphasize, with the reason that people don't get started writing, or that you're having trouble, number one is that you're writing alone. You feel like you have to do this all by yourself. And I'm telling you, you don't have to. You're writing alone. What does that mean? That means you're not even, never mind, soliciting professional services. So many people struggle with writing because they feel like they have to perfect their manuscript before they show anyone. Now, I understand protecting creativity. I understand wanting to protect your creative property, right? You don't want to share it with anybody, but you should share your writing with somebody, because otherwise you will end up second guessing every single chapter. You'll go back and write and rewrite the same pages. You will lose confidence in your writing and then further procrastinate getting published. So I want you to think about, this show is called The Writer's Block, or this little broadcast is called The Writer's Block, because most times people get stuck with the writing. But I want you to understand that writing is creative. It is, it's expressive of your thoughts, and it's okay for you to just get those thoughts out and be able to collaborate with someone else. Writing is creative, but publishing is in fact collaborative. In fact, write that in the chat, type that in the chat. Writing is creative, publishing is collaborative. Every successful author has other people helping them, whether it's your editor. And I definitely encourage everybody to get an editor, whether it's beta readers, somebody in your circle that you trust who will give you truthful information, who's not just going to sugarcoat everything, who's not just going to tell you that everything that you write is magic or that it's gold, and who's not going to be hypercritical, because I feel like most people don't share their writing for fear of criticism. And you need to be um, comfortable with criticism or critique. We won't even call it criticism, we'll call it critique, um, in the early stages, because you don't want to get to the point, if you ever do get to the point of publishing and it's not a product that you can be proud of. So take advantage of writing coaches. Take advantage of even writing classes. If you feel like you're not that strong of a writer, there's all kinds of tutorials and resources available to you. And I want to tell you to read more. If you don't feel that confident in your writing, read more. Read more about the subject matter about which you're going to write. If you are planning to write a book about prayer, read more books about prayer. If you're going to write a book of encouraging people, make sure you're reading books about people who have overcome similar things. And don't ever feel like, because you're reading other material, that the market may be oversaturated. You know, They always say, if you ever feel like the market is oversaturated, or you feel like there's already somebody who's written a book about what you want to write about, all you have to do is take a trip down the bread aisle, right? And you'll see there is a plethora of different brands, different types of bread, all the things. So the market is not oversaturated for your story. So I definitely want to encourage you in that perspective. So stop writing alone. Let me tell you this: you don't need more talent, you just need more feedback. Type that in the chat. You don't need more talent, you just need more feedback. You need the right feedback. You need the right people in your corner giving you the right advice and the right counsel. All right, so the second reason, and I want you to type this in the chat, the second reason that you may not be ready to get published, or the second thing that's keeping you from getting published, is that your manuscript just isn't publication ready. And that's okay, it's perfectly fine. Again, when you don't get the proper feedback, it makes you a little more hesitant about actually getting your manuscript to an editor or to a publisher, or getting your project into the hands of the person who can help you in the next step. And that's okay. Now, let me tell you, 99% of manuscripts need editing. Even if you are brilliant with the English language, even if you are a competent English speaker, 99% of your manuscripts are going to need editing. Now, of course, I'm an editor, so I'm going to recommend that you get professional editing services. But even for me, I have other people edit my work, because there are things that you overlook. There are sentences, especially when you get into the groove of writing. It's so easy for you to, one, write the way that you speak, which is something I highly recommend that you do not do. You should always elevate the professionalism of your writing um, from the way that you speak. So, um, but needing editing doesn't mean that your manuscript is bad. But a good editor is going to give you that honest feedback that you need. A good editor is going to fix things like sentence structure and flow and grammar and inconsistent pacing, or holes in your plot, or holes in your characters, repetitive wording, which happens a lot. We're human, right? But we all need someone to put that extra set of eyes on our work. And you can't be too protective of your work that you can't accept criticism, or not even criticism, we'll call it critique, right? Critique sounds fancier. It sounds nicer than criticism, because no one wants um, their work to be torn apart, right? But you want someone who will be a safe space for you to honestly evaluate, is this a story worth telling? Am I telling it in the best way? Am I telling it in a way to reach my audience, right? Sometimes, your character development, if you're writing a work of fiction, sometimes your character development needs a little bit of work. Sometimes your dialogue doesn't sound natural. You wouldn't go out and build a house without inspecting it first. So editing is the inspection that makes sure your book is stronger, right? So don't worry about your manuscript not being for even formatted properly. Like, that's the reason you have editors. That's the reason you have writing coaches. Don't worry about the mechanics of it. Let us do that for you. There's various types of editing. Um, Editing can flow from developmental. That means you sit down with someone and you actually map out what your book is going to look like. There's line editing, there is copy editing, there's simple proofreading, and all of those different stages can be managed. But you've got to get it on the page. It's time for you to stop being so anxious, get your thoughts out of your head, onto the page, and into the hands of your readers. The third thing I want to share with you tonight is that sometimes one of the obstacles to getting published is that you simply don't have a publishing plan. Many people think that once I finish my book, everything else is going to fall into place. I'm going to get my book published. I'm going to be on the New York Times bestseller list, and I'm going to make $1 million selling my book. But the reality is there's so many different ways to get published now. Are you thinking about traditional publishing? Are you thinking about self-publishing? And can I tell you that self-publishing options have made it so much easier for people to get published? Are you going to do hybrid? Are you waiting to get a writing contract? Do you have an agent? Have you drafted a query letter? Do you even know what the process is? Have you looked at book proposals? And again, with self-publishing, there are a multitude of different entities that will publish your book either for a nominal fee or a large fee. But do you know what any of those resources are? That's what we're here to help you with, and that's what we're talking about tonight. And then you've got to have a marketing strategy. You've got to learn how to build your audience, even if you're not a mainstream author, if you are not a high profile person. Don't let that stop you from putting pen to paper and getting published. Your story is worthy of an audience, and we want to help you develop that. Sometimes it takes just sitting down for a 1 hour consultation where we help you build out your outline, that we help you build out your storyline, your characters, and all of that. We help you with a marketing plan. We help you with building your audience and also establishing your credibility. But you have to have a strategy. And most times that's what keeps us from getting started. So I want you to stop and just think about all of the different ways that you can implement some of the things that we've talked about. Listen, you think that you can't afford professional services, but the reality is you can't afford not to have professional services. Listen, the three things that are keeping you from writing and getting published. Number one, you're trying to do everything alone. Don't do it alone. God built us for community, and you don't have to do it alone. There are low cost and no cost resources available to you. Take advantage of your beta readers. Share your first few pages with someone to get an idea if you're on the right track for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. It's okay. Find that safe space, safe person that you're willing to share your preliminary ideas with them, but don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. And listen, don't skip professional editing. Your manuscript isn't ready until you have put it in the hands of an editor. And let me tell you, a good editor is going to be brutally kind or kindly brutal. However you choose to look at it, they're going to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward, your best product out there so that you can get your story to the widest audience and tell your story in the best way possible. And lastly, you have to have a publishing strategy. The only thing that's keeping you fearful of even getting started is that you're worried that no one's going to buy your book, right? But you've got to get a publishing strategy, and we can certainly help you do that. Listen, I hope this little brief live, this little brief writer's block master session, if you will, has been beneficial. And listen, if you need help getting started, we help you with self publishing options from beginning to end. We even have ghostwriting services. We just finished a couple of ghostwriting projects. Um, don't be intimidated by what it takes in order to get started. We're willing to sit down with you for a 1 hour consultation where we can map out your storyline. We help you distill your ideas. You can go to the website www.danadtyler.com. You can download our So You Think You're a Writer or the Writer's Block Masterclass, and it goes over everything. It's just a 30-minute course. It goes over everything that you need to distill your writing to help you get started. We provide you with the outlines that we use, that I use personally, and I've published 8 of my own books. And so we're just super duper excited to help you finally push past the fear, finally push past all of the excuses, and put pen to paper and get published. So you can go to the website just to get some more information, to know that I'm a real person, because sometimes that's the hesitation. You see all of these ads for different publishing options and you don't know, are these real people? Is this just a bot? Is this just AI? What is this? No, you will have real people with real answers, real conversations to help you do what's necessary to get your story out of your head, onto the page, and into the hands of your readers. I hope you guys have enjoyed this live, and we look forward to talking with you soon.